Hi, everyone, and welcome to March. I took notes this time to try to keep myself a little more organized, and we'll see if that works. My name is Mariah, and I'm your host for the Stash Challenge 2025. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you know what's going on. But if not, I have linked the video for the Stash Challenge. That's the information, the first video about what's going on with the Stash Challenge in 2025. We have already posted the first vlog for January. That's probably my kid making noise. Okay, so we've made it through February. And just to keep you updated on a little bit of what's going on, we still have our 2 make-alongs going on right now. The first one is the whip-along. I have some information right here for the whip-along. This is our make-along going on from February 1st, so already started. And we're going to do that until April 1st. The idea here is to pull out your whips to get you motivated to start working through some of that stash that's actually already attached to a current project. And it can be you can make it the challenge for you in any way that you want. Is it a whip from a long time ago? Is it a whip that you started last year? Whatever motivates you to get you to work through those whips. So that is the make along that we're having right now. Through the beginning of February, I've been really focusing on my Thrummed Mittens whip. I had a lot of this mitten in my video for January, so I didn't show any of it in this video for February. But my goal personally was I had put this whip on my handy dandy spreadsheet for the stash challenge, and my goal is really to get things that I put on there finished before I add too much more. So I've been trying to focus on this project, even though I desperately wanted to cast something else on because that's the type of knitter I am. So I'm actually going to put this mitten on, and I have one of my mittens complete. I am very excited because already my hand is nice and warm in this mitten. And if you didn't see in my last video, these are made with Thrums. I'll link the pattern below. It's the easy mitten with Thrums. It's a free pattern. It's actually really nice how they describe how to make the Thrums. So inside of the mitten are all of these little bits of yarn that you pull through the fabric to make it really warm and cozy inside. My brother-in-law looked at these and called them a sensory nightmare, so they're probably not for everyone. But my hands get cold, and I'm really excited to have these for next year or for this winter. Obviously, I hope it's not going to be much colder. So that was my whip that I was kind of working on for the whip along until the start of Sock Madness Forever. So our other make along that we're doing right now is the Sock Madness along in honor of Sock Madness. If you don't know what Sock Madness is, it's a Ravelry challenge, and there is a group called Sock Madness Forever. And around this time, around February into March, the playoff of March Madness, it's a sock knitting challenge. And you're pretty much just knitting socks as fast as you can. So the registration starts February 1st to, I think, the 14th. And then at any time after the 14th, the qualifying round happens. So I participated in this challenge last year and had a lot of fun. It really challenged me. It really pushed me because these socks are not easy and you're trying to get them done in 2 weeks, at least for the qualifying round. And then after that, you're trying to get them done as fast as you can so you don't get cut from your team, because only the fastest knitters move on to the next round. Last year I did qualify, which was my goal, and I did not make it past the first round. But I still had a lot of fun. So I am participating again this year. So in honor of that, I decided to also host a Sock Madness along. Now, in our Stash Challenge Discord, the Mariah Knits Discord community, we are participating in this make along, but you don't have to participate in the Sock Madness. You can just work on socks. You could double dip and pull out a whip that is a sock. So it's a whip, part of the whip along and the Sock Madness along. That's up to you. Or not, because not everybody wants to make socks. So this challenge is going on through however long Sock Madness lasts. Again, I didn't make it past the first round, so I don't remember how long it goes. But some people will, at least from last year, remember some of us hanging out in the Discord made it pretty far. So those are the make-alongs that are going on right now. So would you like to see my sock for the qualifying round? So the sock pattern is called, I believe, Conjoined Twins. And it is a sock that you start from the toe of one end and you knit the foot, the heel, and you keep going. And then on the other side, you start. So this is the leg of the first sock. And now this little marker here indicates where the leg of the second sock starts. So I have made it down to the heel flap of the second sock. And I still have to finish the gusset, the foot, and the toe. It is Thursday, February 27th when I'm recording this. And it needs to be done by, I think, 9:59 a.m. on Sunday. We shall see what happens. I'm actually really enjoying making this sock. It's just a fun construction. It's got this lovely ribbing throughout that makes it a real stretchy sock. And the cabling actually wasn't too challenging, but looks beautiful, I think. We'll see what happens. In case anyone asks, you might be able to see it. There's a strand of yarn going through this sock that's counting every 5 rows. That way the judges can see that you knit the sock to the minimum requirements. Everyone has minimum requirements. It's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend you check that out. So that's where we are now. I've linked the yarn in the description box, but this is Life in the Longgrass. The colorway is Storm, purchased from Purls of Wisdom last year, so it's Stash. So yeah, I think so far I've gotten like 59 grams of my Stash yarn used up using this. So there's that. So I do have a finished object. for February that I'm very excited about. You saw it in the video. And these are my socks for the cast on along that we did in January. I'm calling them my vanilla sparkle socks. Again, this isn't a pattern. This is just my vanilla sock recipe. And as you can see, there's sparkle in the yarn. I actually held Kremke Stellaris with Kelbourne Woolens perennial sock yarn, which I've already worn these socks once. This might be my favorite sock yarn. It's very soft. It's got this fluffiness to it that I was worried it would feel weird. But it's almost like lotion. It's very soft and buttery. So very comfortable socks. You can't feel the Stellaris in there. The sparkle yarn, the sparkle thread, really. But it feels really good. And I'm really, really happy with these. So I've finished that. Mostly motivated by preparing for Sock Madness because these were on my magic loop, which I needed for these. Yeah, so that's my only finished object. But I'm very proud of myself because one of my goals for this year, besides using stash yarn, really is finishing more objects. And that means focusing on what I'm making instead of doing what I usually do, which is work on something, get bored, and cast something else on. So I'm trying to stay very focused. And what's interesting is that everyone in the Discord channel, we were chatting about goals that we have, our own individual goals, because as you're going to see in a little bit, we're going to be posting the top 10 scoreboards for the number of grams and the number of yards used. And these numbers are insane. And I am not going to make it on this scoreboard at all. And a few people in the Discord, mentioned that. But then we started talking about our own personal goals for the year. So I think that it's fantastic to have your own goals. The challenge itself is fun and supposed to be motivating, but hopefully not disheartening if you feel like there's no way you're going to make it on either scoreboard. So I think it's helpful to make your own goals as well. Some of the goals people mention: wanting to see less yarn in their craft room. Someone mentioned using up 2,500 grams of stash yarn, so giving themselves their own number to work towards. I think someone mentioned too, trying to beat their own stats from each month. So I think that's a fantastic goal because you're comparing yourself to yourself. Someone mentioned wanting to work from their stash so it all fits in one cabinet, which is great because that's a very measurable goal. I like measurable goals as well. And I also like, someone mentioned just rediscovering their stash. So I definitely love pulling out my stash, and you saw me do that with my sock yarn. That was all my sock yarn. Pulling all that out and rediscovering it that way. So I think my hope is that with this challenge, this stash challenge, that and with the different make-alongs that we're going to be doing, they're just different ways to motivate you to really appreciate your stash and want to use the yarn that you have. And again, this is not a limitation on buying yarn. Some people did mention that they wanted to not buy any yarn or buy less yarn or use more yarn from their stash than they acquire yarn. And these are all fantastic goals, but just based on what works for you. So my question to you is, if you have any goals for 2025, and maybe you made these goals back in January when we started the stash challenge, maybe you haven't really thought about it. And so if you would like to share some of those goals, that would be fantastic. I think it's helpful to read and see what other people have as goals to see if it inspires us. Like, oh, that's a really great idea. I didn't think of that. Maybe I'll try that as well. And you don't have to start these goals in January. I know that's a lot of times when we do it in the new year, but you can do it at any time. You can start at any time. And that goes for this stash challenge. You are still welcome, if you have not yet, to join our stash challenge. You can send me your email and I can add you to the spreadsheet. We would love it if you would join the Discord and hang out with us. But we can also chat here in the YouTube comments if you'd like. But it's never too late. Everybody is welcome. So if you're thinking about it and you think, oh, I can't join now because, they're already 2 months in, you can join at any time. So with that, we will move on to the results for February. So first up, here is hopefully the oh my gosh, what do I call this? My infograph. Here's the infograph for March that I made up. Trying to keep things interesting. So I took a quick peek, and this wasn't like scientific. I didn't, make sure I got every data point, but we have all logged about 480 projects on the handy dandy spreadsheet. That's a lot of projects. So on average, for the people who are participating, on average, that's about 8 projects a person. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's a lot. Now I didn't do all the stats for you because some people only have 1 or 2 projects on their spreadsheet. Some, it's quite a few, and you know who you are. You really filled in that spreadsheet. You're going to have to let me know if you run out of space. So, other stats here. So collectively, we're working up a lot of our stash. So as far as grams go, we as of today, we have used 53,725 grams of stash yarn. That's about 118 pounds of stash yarn. And little research, I found that the Western gray kangaroo, I think the males on average are about 118 pounds. So it's the size of a kangaroo. It's not the biggest kangaroo, but that's impressive. And also, I also looked because I was curious kind of where I fall on the stash challenge. So as far as the grams go, I'm not even in the top 20. I'm in 41st place out of 61 people. So if you're not on the scoreboard, don't worry. There's a lot of us who are not. We're just going to cheer them on. And we were chatting in the Discord as well that it would be fun if we could manage to use up enough grams to reach the size of a blue whale. And I looked at the numbers and I don't remember them. It's pretty big. We'll see. We'll see what size animal we make it to by the end of this. And then for the yards, we've used up 111,861 yards, and that's about 63 and a half miles long. So that's about the distance from Wilmington, Delaware to Princeton, New Jersey. I'm trying to figure out the best way to sort of conceptualize the distance of yarn that we're knitting or crocheting or spinning. And I guess the wellest known landmarks I can find are helpful. It looks like I hadn't decided whether or not I want to just keep traveling along from where I started from Philadelphia. Um, and I guess the easiest thing was to do that. So now we're traveling from Wilmington, Delaware, back up to Princeton, New Jersey. So then, without further ado, the top 10 scoreboard for the number of grams used in the Stash Challenge 2025 for February. Here ish. Hopefully, I've left enough room with my face. Congratulations to our top 10 makers using up their grams of stash. That is, again, lots of big numbers here. It's very impressive. And then the top 10 scoreboard for the number of yards used from your stash right here. So again, if you would still like to participate, I would love it. Please let me know. You can send me your email. You can contact me. You can private message me through Instagram. I have my Instagram handle linked. I have the Discord channel linked. I would love it if you could come hang out with us there. So you can private message me there. You can also come and hang out in the Discord even if you don't want to participate in the Stash Challenge. We're having fun conversations over there, and we would love to have you if you want to hang out with us. So, with all of that being said, thank you, and we'll see you next month.